So what I got here is a dash pad from a 69 VW bus that I'm restoring. This top section is available. Everything's out of stock, of course, because you can't find parts anymore. They're like $350 or something ridiculous just for this tiny little piece. And then this main section, it looks like, is actually molded to the metal framework, so it's not available at all. So either way, I'll be doing some sort of padded dash repair on it. Somebody went ahead and just completely destroyed the opening for the radio. Doing a little homework on how to fix these problems. I did find a company called Polyvance. They have fillers, stuff that's specific for plastic padded dash repair. The first one's their item 5210. This is a heating iron, and it comes with a couple sticks of, I'm guessing they're plastic patented material, whatever it is, and a sheet of screen. What I'm doing is I've already repaired one joint, and I do have a handful of others around radiuses and stuff. You pretty much use your hot iron with the metal reinforced inside of it, and just kind of mash with the spade of your soldering iron into that crevice. Once you get it close, you'll just quickly sand it, and then they actually have a specific padded dash filler with hardener, which looks a lot like body filler. There are a couple different filler prep for you want to use as a bonding agent, I guess. Then they have an adhesion promoter, which is also nice because I will end up using a texture coating. I like the SEM products. I haven't had one of these that I didn't really get good results out of. Their interior paints are all fantastic. Their preps are great. Their adhesion promoters are great. So I went ahead with the texture since I've used this before and I know what texture to expect off of this product. And then it'll just be a standard satin trim black paint across the whole thing anyways. So I'm going to rebuild a lot of these cracked areas. We are actually going to go with the double din with Apple Play on it and stuff like that, navigation, everything. So this is going to be a camper bus. It'd be kind of nice to be able to watch a little cartoon or something with the kids when you're kicking your feet up. So I'll show a little bit of just like a quick how-to on this section that I'm going to start repairing, get a little closer so you can see a little better. And hopefully this thing turns out at least a heck of a lot better than it is now, because it's bad. But anyways, kind of an interesting thing. This doesn't have to be removed from the car if you're doing a truck or whatever. It just has to be enough viable material around it to hold everything in place. You know, a lot of Dodge truck dashes and stuff, there isn't any filler underneath it. It's just a plastic shell, and once it cracks, you're done. So as long as not the whole entire pad is toast, if you get isolated cracks here and there, I think you could repair it pretty easy inside the car, not worry about damaging anything. Be a little dusty, sand and painting might be a little strange to tape off, but beats the heck out of pulling dash out of a lot of cars these days, especially newer stuff. But anyways, we get the camera set up in a different spot and we'll see how this actually works. And so far I did this first joint and it is pretty darn cool stuff actually. So what I did was I cut just a little patch and kind of pushed it down to that valley as far as I could. You want to open it up definitely past the damaged area, as you can see, and get into where it's structurally sound again. This stuff is pretty neat. It does melt pretty slow. So you kind of just almost slide it off, kind of push it off, if you will, into the recesses. And that kind of gives you an idea what you're looking at here. Pretty neat process, very easy to handle. And you just keep building it up until it's basically the same height. I'm going to take a probably a 60 grit, 80 grit, something like that, on a 3-inch disc or a 2.5-inch kind of Rolox size, and just kind of smooth it out as best as I can. Give a little room for the filler to actually bite onto something. But kind of a fun process actually. It's like kind Kind of like hillbilly TIG welding, I guess. But once I get this all filled in, get kind of the rough shape together, I'll sand it down a touch and move on to doing spot filling. And we'll see if we can't get this thing to look like a remanned, nice new piece of dash pad. What you end up with is something that's pretty nice. This stuff's super easy to work with. It stays warm for quite a while, so you kind of got to be careful not to get too aggressive and push too much, but you definitely want to pack as much down into the crack as you can. I'm trying to pack it all the way down into the metal frame behind it just to make sure that I get plenty of filler in there. But yeah, that's the second one. Fairly quick process. See how this stuff hand sands first, and then maybe get out the air tools, make it a little quicker. But the plastic filler's been really nice to work with. It gets easier the more that you do it. I did also do a doubled-in installation on this dash. I'll show some pictures of it. I didn't record everything. Basically the same system you use. Add filler, let it cool, move around. I did end up doing the body work on this thing, and it does just sand out just like regular, any kind of filler you have. I went ahead and did the lower portion with the doubled in and textured it and everything. It turned out pretty slick. I'll show a couple pictures of that. Also with that SEM brand, the texture that you use turned out almost stock. You probably can't catch the idea of the texture, but this is the doubled in opening that I did on it. This whole thing was just chewed out really bad. Somebody just destroyed it when they were trying to put just a single radio in it. So I ended up using 3 or 4 sticks and then body worked all this seam open and everything. Overall, really happy with the way all this stuff is turning out. Not only the texture coating is coming out better than stock, I think, but it just makes all these repairs go away, blend off real easy. And then once you put the top coat on it, it looks like a brand new dash. So I would definitely recommend, instead of ordering new aftermarket parts or anything, because aftermarket stuff sucks these days, repair what you have if you can. This is definitely something that's very handy to have in your toolbox. Many times there's plastic pieces that can be repaired with this kind of stuff. So I would say definitely if you have any kind of an 80s vehicle or older, go ahead and order this stuff. It's been a pretty fun project and very rewarding. I'll throw a couple pictures of the radio set in and that kind of stuff so you can kind of get an idea of before and after. I didn't take the time to record of it, so it's very tedious and kind of boring to watch, so I saved everybody. But till next time, thanks guys for watching. Subscribe.